Hello, awesome possums. Today we're going to look at more ways to compare three-digit numbers. You're going to need your pencil and paper or marker and whiteboard. Why don't you pause the video at this time and go get your materials, come back and start the video, and we'll be on the next slide. Let's begin by reading and solving this problem. It says, these two paintings are in the school art contest. Which painting has more votes? Painting A has 467 votes, and painting B has 463 votes. To answer the question, which painting has more votes, painting A or painting B, we can picture it and we can model it. Picture it was by drawing the base 10 blocks. 467 has 4 hundreds, 6 tens, and 7 ones. 463 has 4 hundreds, 6 tens, and 3 ones. If you look at the base 10 model, you can see that 7 ones is more than 3 ones. So 467 is greater than 463, so painting A got the most votes. The model it shows the same thing. It shows the hundreds, the tens, and ones. 4 hundreds, 6 tens, 7 ones, and 4 hundreds, 6 tens, and 3 ones. 7 is greater than 3, so painting A had more votes. Connected. You will use the problem from the previous page to help you understand more ways to compare three-digit numbers. Which place do you need to look at to compare number of votes and why? Well, if I look at 467 and 463, I see that each number has 4 in the hundreds place. Each number has 6 in the tens place, but the ones placed are different. I have 7 ones and 3 ones. So, which place did I have to look at? I had to look at the ones place because the tens and the hundreds were the same. It says, complete two different comparisons of 467 and 463. Do not let this problem fool you, boys and girls. It looks hard, but it is not hard. Always look, remember to look at where the arrow is and where the opening of the arrow is. Remember, the opening is open to the bigger number because the alligator wants to eat the bigger number. So with 467 and 463, 467 is bigger. So I'm going to write 4, 6, and 7 here. Let me change this to that. And I'm going to write 463 here, 460. Can I get that a 6 and a 3? And here's my opening to my arrow, so I have to write 467 here because remember that alligator wants to eat that bigger number, and 463 here. All right, I'll write the 3 there. And it reads 467 is greater than 463, and 463 is less than 467. Now the next problem says, why can 467 and 463 be compared to two ways? Because they're two different numbers. That's why. They're two different numbers, so I can compare them two different ways. Which painting has more votes and why? Painting A had more votes because 7 ones is greater than 3 ones. Now it asks us to reflect and look back, and which model was easier for you to use? Now, speaking for myself personally, I like using the chart better than the base 10 blocks, because the base 10 blocks take a long time to draw. But drawing this chart and filling the chart in takes just a matter of maybe 30 seconds. So if I drew this chart, which I did obviously, it took me 5 seconds to draw it. So now all I have to do is put the 4, the 6, and the 7 in here, and the 4, the 6, and the 3 in here, and it's easy to compare. So I like using the chart more than the base 10 blocks, because the base 10 blocks take so long to draw and the chart takes just a matter of seconds. But it's a personal preference. You may like doing the base 10 blocks better. All right, let's look at what we just learned. We are going to solve these problems, write the more than or less than sign to compare each pair of numbers. 264 and 462. I first need to compare the hundreds. There's 200, there's 400. I know that 400 is greater than 200. My arrow has to be open to the larger number because the alligator is going to eat the larger number. So we read 264 is less than 462. Let's look at 372 and 379. I first check the hundreds. 300, 300. Then I check the tens. 7 tens, 7 tens. I check the ones. 2 ones, 9 ones. I know that 9 is greater than 2, so my alligator's mouth has to be open to the larger number. And this problem reads 372 is less than 379. Let's go to problem C, 954 and 950. I look at the hundreds, 900 and 900. I look at the tens, 5 tens, 5 tens. I look at the ones, 4 ones, 0 ones. I know that 4 is greater than 0. My alligator mouth must be open to the bigger number, and this problem reads 954 is greater than 950. Let's go to the next problem. 876 and 867. I look at the hundreds. They both have 800. I look at the tens. 7 tens, 6 tens. I know that 7 tens is greater than 6 tens. My alligator mouth must be open to the bigger number. So 876 is greater than 867. Let's look at the next one. 718 and 788. Let's compare the hundreds. I have 700. I have 700. Let's compare the tens. 110 and 8 tens. I know that 8 tens is greater than 110, so I am going to put my arrow pointing to the 718 because 8 tenths is greater than 1/10, and my alligator mouth must be open to the bigger number. So this reads 718 is less than 788. Let's look at the next one, 653 and 553. Compare my hundreds. 600, 500. Oh, I know that 600 is greater than 500. So I can read this as 653 is greater than 553. All right, let's go to the next problem. It says write two different ways to compare the number 772 and 774 using more than and less than. Show your work. Well, there's two different numbers, 772 and 774, so I can show this two different ways. First way I can say is 772 is less than 774. Okay? Remember, my alligator mouth has to be open to the larger number. Now I can write it as 774 is greater than 772. Okay? One is greater than, one is less than. All right. Hope and Sarah are collecting pennies. Hope has 189 pennies. Sarah has 186 pennies. Which comparisons are correct, boys and girls? Let me give you a little hint. When you have more than 4 answers, that means you're going to have 2 or more answers correct. All right. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's going to be at least 2 answers in this problem that are correct. Let's look at it. 189 and 186. If I check my hundreds are the same. I check my eights are the same. My 9 and 6. All right. So there's something wrong here. 189, is it less than 186? Look at the alligator map. It's open to the 186. 6 is less than 9, so this is not a correct answer. Let's look at the next one. 186 is less than 189. Well, the alligator mouth is open to the 189, which is greater than 186, because 9 ones is greater than 6 ones, so that one is correct. So I'm going to mark that one correct. Let's go to the next problem. 189 is more than 186. Well, 9 is greater than 6. The alligator mouth is open to the 189, so that problem is correct. Let's look at the next one. It says 186 is more than 189. I don't think so, because a 6 is less than 9. The alligator mouth has to be open to the 189, so that is not correct. Put a line through that. All right, let's look at this next one. It says 186 is equal to 189. Are they equal, boys and girls? Absolutely not. We're going to put a line through that. All right. Study the example showing how to compare 3-digit numbers, then solve problems 1 through 8. All right. 1 through 8 is on the next page, and I'll give you time to solve those problems. But let's look at the example. It says compare 528 and 523. They're using a chart, boys and girls, and they want you to use a chart to compare these numbers, not to draw the base 10 blocks. The hundreds are the same, the tens are the same, compare the ones. The hundreds are the same, the tens are the same, compare the ones. 8 ones is greater than 3 ones, so 528 is more than 523, and 523 is less than 528. All right, Ned and Vera are playing a game. Ned has 142 points and Vera has 147 points. Write the numbers in the chart. All right, Ned has 142 and Vera has 147. All right, let's compare. They both have 100. They both have 4, but one has 2 ones, the other has 7 ones. Vera has 2 ones. Ned has 2 ones. Vera has 7. So it says complete the comparison. The arrow is open to the larger number, so I have to say 147 is greater than 142. Now, it's asked you, which place did you have to look to compare 142 and 141? You had to go to the ones. O-N-E-S. All right, let's look at the next page. All right, I hope you're finished. If you're not, hit pause, boys and girls. If you haven't started, hit pause before I go over the answers, all right? It says complete two different comparisons for 824 and 829. I am looking at my arrows, and I know my arrows, the opening has to be to the biggest number. Well, if I'm looking at 824, they both have the same hundreds, they both have the same tens, their ones are different. 9 is greater than 4, so 829 has to go here. 829, because my arrow is open to the bigger number. Alligator wants that bigger number, and 824 goes here. Ooh, it's hard to write like this. 24. All right, let me erase that, boys and girls, because that 24 does not look right at all. All right, here we go. 2824. That is much better. Now look where my arrow is. My arrow's open is over here, so I have to go 829 here, and I go 824 here. And it reads like this. 829 is more than 824, and 824 is less than 829. All right, let's do the next one. Compare 353 and 351. If I look at this, the hundreds are the same. The tens are the same. What's different are the ones. 3 is greater than 1. So, look at my arrow. I have to put my bigger number here, 353, because the alligator wants to eat that bigger number. And I have to put 351 here. D1. Look at my arrow. I have to put 353 here, because the opening has to be open to the bigger number so the alligator can eat it. And I have to put 351 here. 50. Ooh, that's hard to do. 1. And it reads 353 is greater than 351, and 351 is less than 353. All right, let's go to another one. And it's asking us to compare 675 and 629. They both have the same hundreds, but their tens are different. I have 7 tens and 2 tens. All right, look at my arrow. I have to put the larger number here because that opening has to be open to the bigger number. That alligator wants to eat that big number, 675, and I'm going to put 629 here. And I'm going to look over here. Here's my opening. So I'm going to put 675 here. And 629 here. And this problem reads 675 is more than 629, and 629 is less than 675. All right, write the more than, less than, or equal to. Oh, look what they have done. If the numbers are equal, we need to put the equal sign. So let's look at this first one, 465 and 467. Both have 4 in the hundreds, both have 6 in the tens, but 7 is more than 5, so my arrow has to be open to the bigger number. 465 is less than 467. Let us go to the next one. I'm looking at 885 and 882. They both have the same hundreds. They both have the same tens. I'm looking at the ones. 5 is greater than 2. So 885 is greater than 882. Let's go to the next one. 691 and 691. Those two numbers are equal. I hope you got that, boys and girls. All right, 392 and 392. Oh, those numbers are equal. The hundreds, tens, and ones are the same. Let's do the next one. 214 and 312. Let's compare the hundreds. I have 200, I have 300. 300 is greater than 200, so I put the arrow like that and it reads 214 is less than 312. Now we'll go to the last one. 484 and 394. Well, I'm looking at the hundreds and I see that 400 is greater than 300. My arrow has to be open to the larger number. 400 is greater than 300, so this reads 484 is greater than 394. All right, last problem. It says, Hans plays 3 games. Which game has the greatest score? Which game has the least score? How can you tell? Now they've given you 3 numbers, boys and girls, and it's a multi-step problem. So look at how they lined this up. Hundreds, tens, ones. Which is the greatest score? Which is the least score? Let's find the least score first. 300, 200, 300. Which is the least score? 389, or 289, I'm sorry. 289 is least because there are 2 hundreds. And I'm going to put an L there for least, and I'll circle it. Okay? Now it says which game has the greatest score. I can take this out because we've already done that. Now I can look at my hundreds. I have 300s and 328, 300s and 325. I have 2 tens and 328. I have 2 tens and 325. I have 8 ones and 328 and 5 ones and 325. Which is the greater number? 328. So, all right, 328. And I'll put a G there for greater. All right? All right. Wow, that was a lot of work, Awesome Possums, but you did a great job. Thank you for working so hard today. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm adding new lessons each week. And remember, work on your growth mindset. All things are difficult before they get easy. Never give up, Awesome Possums. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.